Hello, I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the Strategy Room. Donald Trump ties with Pope Francis as the second most admired man of 2015. That's according to a new Gallup poll released this morning. 5% of Americans surveyed picked the GOP hopeful and religious leader. President Barack Obama comes in first place with 17%. As for the women, Democratic presidential hopeful Hillary Clinton tops the list for a record 20th time. In second place, 2014 Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai with 5%, followed by Oprah Winfrey with 4%. Now here to weigh in on the results, Iona College professor Jeanne Zaino and Republican media specialist T.J. McCormack. Welcome to you both.
Hi.
Jeanne, let me start with you. So how do you feel about the Gallup survey? Do you agree with it or not?
You know, I think to a certain extent this reflects what's on the top of people's mind, who's getting the most coverage. You look at this list year after year after year. Mother Teresa rightly topped it for many, many years. Hillary Clinton has been on the top 20 years. Donald Trump this year, Pope Francis. These are all people who are repeatedly in the news and who are rightly so admired to a certain extent.
Sure.
But I think we have to look at it in that respect, because what they're doing is going and asking an open question. Which man and which woman do you admire the most? It's telling that usually the president wins as the top man or is at least in the top couple. So I think a lot of it is, who's getting the most press coverage, who's in the news the most.
Oh, very interesting. So, TJ, do you agree? I mean, is it kind of like a popularity contest fueled by the media?
I guess. It's like a pebble in my shoe, because I want to know why. I want to know why. I want there to be the backup poll question is who and why. How in a million years can you go, can Barack Obama be tripling up on Pope Francis? And Malala, a Peace Prize winner, I'd love for someone to say, why is Hillary most admired in your eyes versus Malala or something? I mean, yeah, it's a popularity contest. That's the only thing that's going to help me get through today. Is knowing that it's just the fact that somebody chose Hillary over Malala. But it is interesting too to see Donald Trump neck and neck with Pope Francis.
Well, that's a very interesting concept, because Jeanne, what has Donald Trump done to equal Pope Francis?
I can't name a thing. I mean, obviously he's made a lot of money. He has certainly had a huge voice in the conversation in American politics this year. But in terms of the most respected, that to me is a big question mark. Why would he be equal to Pope Francis? So I think to TJ's point, I do have to say this feels a little bit to me like in high school when they say, who's the most popular, who's the smartest, who's the most talented.
Maybe if we take them at their word, maybe we take them literally in terms of it being most admired, I think, which is what the wording is. Maybe Donald is scoring points because he's actually, right or wrong, saying things that people have been dying to say for a long time, saying things about America's standing in the world, about America not leading. Maybe it's the fact that he's saying things that are being bleeped, you know what I mean? Sure. In some of these rallies, he's speaking regular man and woman, Joe the Plumber type language to tens of thousands, where most people scrub it up and make it TV ready. There's Donald Trump saying it like other people are thinking it.
Yeah. And what about let's look at Hillary Clinton, though. I mean, with 20th year in a row, I mean, is it just because people know her, or is she so popular because she is a presidential contender? What is it?
I mean, she has been 20 times. Eleanor Roosevelt was, 13 times? And you compare the two and you're like, wow. I do think it's because this woman has been in the news since the early 1990s. And she has never gotten, taken a step back. She went from being first lady to being senator to being secretary of state to being a leading presidential candidate. And if this continues and she is elected, she'll be going to 24 years. I mean, it's...
Imagine if she stopped lying about stuff. Imagine if she stopped lying about stuff and actually followed all the rules and believed that the laws apply to her. Oh, my Lord, she'd be through the roof.
I would expect, though, that I would wonder that the First Lady, Michelle Obama, would be a little higher, or at least higher in the polls.
Yeah, she was in there,
But again,
I don't know.
I mean, if you're talking about name recognition, she certainly must have it.
But I think it speaks to the fact that the First Lady is not in the news as much as other First Ladies have been. When Hillary Clinton was in the White House, she was actually focused on policy. She was actually doing things that Michelle Obama has taken a step back. I mean, she's made a choice to be quieter. She's on the list, but she's not quite up in the front of people's minds. I have to say, as a pollster, when you call somebody and you ask them, who do you admire most? Who do you respect most? A lot of it is, this is the person I can think of right now off the top of my
Right,
head in the
right,
middle of
right.
dinner.
All right, thanks so much, Jeanne Zaino and T.J. McCormack, for being here. Thanks so much. And thank you. For more on the survey, go to foxnews.com. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.